Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Monday, January 16th, 2023, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a little after 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast of the United States. A few words about Martin Luther King. I wish more people celebrated this holiday, commemorated it, treated it like we do the 4th of July or Columbus Day or any other day in which we all rest and take the day off and do things to celebrate the reason for the holiday. In my opinion, Martin Luther King was one of the greatest Americans who ever lived. His passion for justice, his passion for freedom, his defense of civil liberties, his passion for peace, his anti-war, his understanding of the harms that government can cause, many of which were visited upon him, was profound. There was very little more profound than his personal courage. A black man taking on the white establishment in an era where that was unheard of. If you ever want to read one of the greatest pieces of American literature, read Letter from a Birmingham Jail. This was written on scratch paper with a pencil that he had to sharpen by using the stone and cement of the floor of the jail cell in order to sharpen the pencil so that he could write on the paper. It is one of the most brilliant, eloquent defenses of personal liberty as emanating from our humanity that you can imagine, having been written from a jail cell. He makes a very interesting argument in it. He makes an argument channeling St. Augustine that an unjust law is no law. And he gives two bases for an unjust law. An unjust law is one that demeans human beings or one that interferes with their personal private choices. At the time he said that, of course, it was unlawful for a black man to marry a white woman, and that's what he was talking about. He was also talking about Jim Crow laws, which were written to demean the black race. A brilliant and gifted man. He was only 39 when he was murdered, and we should commemorate him today. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, was at a Martin Luther King Day event in Atlanta, attempting to commemorate the great civil rights leader, and he said some very nice things about him. And of course, Joe became old Joe again. Take a listen.
And I'll say it over and over again. I am going to get assault weapons banned. I did it once, I'm going to do it again. There's no social redeeming value. Deer aren't wearing Kevlar vests out there. What the hell you need an assault? No, I'm serious. And ban the number of bullets that go in a magazine. There's no need for any of that. I love my right-wing friends who talk about the tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots. If you need to work about taking on the federal government, you need some F-15s. You don't need an AR-15. I'm serious. Think about it. Think about the rationale for this. It's about money. Money, money, money.
I guess he doesn't watch the news to see what's happening in Ukraine and how the brave Ukrainian people, I think fruitlessly, because I think they're going to lose, and I think we shouldn't be arming them, but the brave Ukrainian people are fighting for homeland, many of them with the type of weapon that he wants to ban. He did ban. He was one of the leaders in the Senate that resulted in legislation in the Bill Clinton era that banned for 10 years assault weapons. They were high-powered rifles with bayonet hooks and handles on them, as if anybody would use a bayonet today, and as if the handle for steadying the rifle, for making it more accurate, somehow was an evil. I have an AR-15, and when one of my friends at Fox, when I was there, said to me, "What do you use it for?" I said, "Use it for target practicing." "Why do you need it?" "Because it's the most accurate gun I have. If you put a banana in your mouth, I'll take the banana out, and nothing will harm you. That's how accurate the weapon is." Not boasting about my skills, although my skills are pretty good, but boasting about the accuracy of the weapon. Old Joe does not understand what the Supreme Court wrote about the right to keep and bear arms. Two opinions, Justice Scalia and Justice Alito. Two Jersey guys, two Italian Americans from New Jersey, but put that aside, two Yale graduates, both saying the Second Amendment protects your right to own the same weapons that the bad guys own and that the government owns. So that if the government becomes tyrannical, you can resist it. That's the Justice Scalia opinion. The other opinion, I'm sorry, it wasn't Justice Alito. Justice Alito wrote an opinion about whether the states could interfere with this. But the other opinion to which I refer is Justice Clarence Thomas, not from New Jersey and not Italian American, African American from Georgia, saying that the Second Amendment does not protect second-class rights. It protects first-class rights like the First Amendment does. And just as the government has no business requiring us to register our books, and we don't need the government's permission before we buy a book protected by the First Amendment, we shouldn't need the government's permission before we buy a handgun or a rifle, a good rifle, a strong rifle, an accurate rifle, protected by the Second Amendment. How he thinks he's going to get this through Congress is beyond me. Why he's discussing this at Martin Luther King Day is beyond me. That's old Joe. But I don't think he'll get to first base, nor should he be, nor should he try to be when it comes to interfering with fundamental constitutional liberties. That's not me. That's the Supreme Court. Judge Napolitano for Judging Freedom.